Hey, welcome to another episode of All-Star Athletic Director on the Educational AD podcast. We'll be right back with today's All-Star guest, but first we want to say thanks to our podcast partners, We Coach, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, and the Florida Coaches Coalition. These are three great organizations that you really should check out. So take a look at the Florida Coaches Coalition, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, and We Coach. And now let's have a quick word from our podcast sponsors. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor scoring tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can set up a live web demonstration and see their tables and boards in action. You've heard me say that we've got a Sideline Interactive indoor score table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. We use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. It's tremendously versatile, and the customer service is just outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and check out their products today. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to show you how to set up and sell your tickets, how to scan the attendees that come to your games, and collect your revenue. And every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager that's providing hands-on support. That's every step of the way. Go to Hometown Ticketing. They'll also show you how to sell tickets for things like school dances, school plays and concerts, even graduation. You'll find it all at hometownticketing.com. We also want to say thank you to Huddle. Go to huddle.com. Huddle is how the world sees sports. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. And Huddle is going to provide your teams, your coaches, and your athletes the tools to handle the challenges that you face every day as an athletic director. At Huddle, we believe in sports, and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 6 million users and find out how to turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. They're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their products and their testimonials. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your teams, for all the events, or to display your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and talk to their team. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to say thank you to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how schools are creating world-class marketing content for their social media channel. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design training. Go to Gipper.com. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast, and you'll get 10% off. That code is ADPOD10. Go to Gipper.com. Create custom content for your school's social media channel. We also want to thank Final Forms. Go to finalforms.com/Jake and check out all the things that Final Forms can do for you. Final Forms can help your stakeholders with things like mobile accessibility, and they've got reminders for parents about policies and physicals and all the forms that come when you have an athlete in the house. Final Forms can help your coaches with things like attendance and communication. And for athletic directors, Final Forms can help you with eligibility and rosters, all the reports that come across your desk. It's time that you talk to a team that's walked in your shoes. To take the next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve every aspect of your program. In my schools, we use surveys for just about everything, for teachers, for coaches, for kids, and for parents. And the information that came back was almost always positive, and it'll be the same for you. But it's good to hear from that 98% that like your program. And it's a tremendously valuable tool when you're having a discussion with that 2% or with your boss or with a school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your student athletes, you're really missing out. Talk to the pros at Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack and let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. And we want to thank Snap Mobile. Go to snapraise.com and check out their entire suite of platforms designed to help you as an athletic director. Snap Connect is for, parent engagement. Snap Manage will help you build a website. Snap Store allows you to order custom spirit gear, and Snap Raise is their fundraising platform that we have used with great success, and so can you. And Snap Raise has helped schools just like yours raise over $700 million. They even have a program where you can get your money before you start your fundraiser. Does anybody else offer that? I don't think so. You can find out more at snapraise.com. That's snapraise.com.
This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the All-Star Athletic Director, our series that features 10 great women athletic directors sharing their views and perspectives on challenges that we all face as athletic directors. Our guest today is a good friend, Pam Lancaster. She's a certified master athletic administrator, and she's the director of athletics at Auburndale High School here in Florida, also very active at the state level. She's a member of our FIAAA Board of Directors and just does a great job with her school. Pam, welcome back to All-Star AD. And what do you have for our listeners this week?
Thank you, Jake. Thanks for having me. Today, I think I'd like to talk about the importance of communication, not only between athletic directors and their coaches, but also their student athletes, the staff, and that entails the teachers, from the custodians to the lunchroom workers, and then the parents, and then basically the community, all the stakeholders that are each bit of importance to the success of our athletic program. And I think when it comes to communication, it's really an important part to how successful we are as ADs. And it's always a work in progress, but we really need to be skilled communicators in countless relationships in variety of audiences, as I mentioned. So the important thing with that is to express our ideas, think with clarity, also share the information in a variety of ways. And those ways, I think one of the important ones are just being visible, those face-to-face communication. Got to be careful though, because then our body language could be as also a form of communication. Phone calls, emails, texts, social media posts, our website, all of those can be used as a tool to help promote and get information out to our stakeholders, from our coaches all the way to the people in our community. And I kind of broke this up into different, and I'm just going to list some things that maybe if you can walk away with one or two of these ideas, or you already do them, or that's great. But as far as my coaches go, every Monday I send out a email. It's called the Monday Memo. And in that Monday Memo, I have a variety of things, kind of give them a overall what the week's going to look like, and just little reminders from anything of deadlines that are coming up or they're due, or make sure you're following the correct financial procedures. It's like little mini meetings, but I do it every Monday. And some people might think that's time consuming, but what I do is I do it whenever I have a moment, either that Thursday or Friday before, sometimes on the weekend, and then I schedule it. And so that I know it's going to go out Monday morning. So because we all know you get to school on Monday, there's no way I can sit down and write an email the way I want to write it. And the Monday Memo might turn into a Tuesday something. So that's something that I've really, and it's intentional. I really work hard to make sure I do that, to get the information out. I also, and it's not an every Tuesday thing, it's as I come across it, but I have what I call a tune-up Tuesday. And that involves maybe an article that I've read or come across my way, and I want to share with the coaches, and something, that I think that they could find helpful. And I've kind of labeled that Tune Up Tuesday. I've encouraged my coaches, if they see anything, send it to me and I'll send it out to the group. So I'm trying to get some engagement there with my coaches. And then just last week I started, and I've got to give my principal a shout out for this name, because usually in my Monday memos, I would also fill it with things of accomplishments, because so many times our coaches get in their own little boxes and are, which is I've been a coach for many years, and you don't know what's going on around you. And I think part of the communication piece is our coaches need to know what their peers are doing, or how they're, because a lot of them share these student athletes also. And so I've now come up with, I did my first email last Wednesday. It's called Wow Wednesday. And all I do in that email is just, if and it can be short. Hey, we had a great senior nights these last weeks. Great job, coaches. Or if a coach has gotten an accomplishment or recognition, or we have so and so that's going to state, that's my Wow Wednesday email. So and again, it's not anything that I have to do every Wednesday. It just gives me, those are little things that I think can be that they remind them, or they, things that are catchy. I guess that's what I'm looking at. I also know that not everybody reads their emails like they should. So I also utilize group texts with my coaches. I'm visible. I walk through practices, games. So I think that that's important, because a lot of times I go, oh, I didn't get a chance to see you today, and all that kind of stuff. So my preseason coaches meeting, I do that in July, right before the fall season starts. I also, my on-campus coaches, I stop by their room. If I need something, or I can call them from my office. Just little stuff like that, I think helps with the communication piece with my coaches. Now, with the student athletes, again, visibility is so important. I think not only just the student athletes, but I think the students on campus need to know who the AD is. And even though sometimes I'll have kids coming up here, you the sports lady, I'll take that. That at least they, they might not know my name yet, but they know that I'm the sports lady. And so that's very important. So I take advantage of the morning and afternoon duties that I have. I have lunch duty, which is a great opportunity just to walk around the cafeteria. That's when I do announcements of upcoming practices or tryouts. Kids will come up to me and, asking questions about the paperwork, or am I cleared? It's just, that's a great time to get a lot of that out there, because all the kids eat lunch. And so I also use our morning announcements and our afternoon announcements, our morning news program to get information out, communication to our student athletes, and also our preseason meetings that we have with our parents and students. That gives me a chance to share expectations, the importance of being a student athlete. And I tell them, very rarely will they ever hear me refer to them as just athletes. I'm a big proponent, I believe in the academics, and I refer to them, even in emails, I'm writing out student athletes, to my coaches. So that's very important expectation. We discuss our sportsmanship program. I challenge them, especially if we've gone with no ejections in the fall season. Now I put it onto the winter season, because every year our goal is not to have any ejections. We have that from the get-go. Are we always successful? No, but it's something that we look at. So then it gets to be a little bit, if we've gone none in the fall, then it really gets big if it's spring, if the fall and winter have gone with 0 ejections. So it's definitely a topic of conversation that we have. I have talks with our student athletes about their grades and GPAs throughout the year. If I know they've been struggling, or they just became eligible, I'll stay on when I see them. I have one young man who just wants to keep showing me his portal and show how good, then that's fine. I tell him he can do that anytime. So I don't just wait till that conversation where I have to tell them they're not eligible anymore, that I had to do with a couple just a couple weeks ago. So that's where the communication is, but being visible and having the student athletes know who you are. And then with the administration and the teachers and the staff, a lot of the things, I encourage them to come to our athletic events, especially if they have student athletes in their class. That's one of the best ways they can build relationships with their students. And so to help them with that, even though most of them wear the shirts and stuff, or the hoodies, I send rosters out to all the teachers, along with the coaches' contact information, so that they can utilize the coach if they ever need, if there's an issue going on in class, or just to tell the coach, say, hey, so-and-so's doing a lot better in class this week, or he's doing a lot better, or his grades went up, just to use that coach as another resource for their classroom management. And so I think that helps, because coaches can definitely be a huge impact. And I remind our teachers this, they can be a huge impact on our student athletes. Sometimes if coach says it, then they'll do it. If mom or dad or a teacher says it, then, and the coach can say the same exact thing and then it'll get done. So, but anyway, so I try to get the teachers involved in that. And then the parents, it's very important to get the parents involved. And they like to know what's going on, because I learned a long time ago, you just can't tell the student athletes, because a lot of times it will not get home. So at our preseason meetings, again, that gives me an opportunity to introduce myself and let them know that you'll be seeing me at the at the activities, the sporting events. I go over my sports program expectations, and what they should expect from not only me, but from my coaches. And also, we talk about fan behavior and sportsmanship and everything like that. And so it's just a good way. And again, social media, I always encourage them, if you want to stay in the know of what's going on at Auburndale High School, you've got to get on social media. And if they say they don't have it, then but their kids do, anybody in the household, but we do a good job at our high school, school wide, and you can learn a lot about Auburndale High School just through the social media. Also, I think, and I should have mentioned with the student athletes too, but it falls in the category of the parents. Not only am I going to be visible at athletic events, I also like to go to other events, concerts, plays. If our ROTC is having, an inspection out on the, stadium football field, because we have a lot of student athletes that are in plays, that play a musical instrument, that sing, that are in ROTC. And it's so neat to see them out of out of the student athlete genre, as I say, just watching them in that. And it does go a long way, not only with the parents when they see you there, but also with the student athletes. Because that gives you see them the next day and say, hey, you did a good job. Or your concert was so great last night, and all that good stuff. And then community. We have a tight knit, it's great to be part of Auburndale High School. It's a one high school community, and you really have a lot of backing, a lot of support. I like to, get people involved in that with the social media so they can see what's going on. Each Sunday on Facebook page, we have a this week at Auburndale High School. And not only does it list the sporting events, but also the testing dates, early release days, whenever there's going to be report cards, interims. It's just, everybody knows it's going to be coming out Sunday afternoon. So they can kind of see what the week's going to look like. And it keeps them informed about events. I also use, way to get out the ticket information, because we, about a year and a half ago, we went to online ticketing, let them know where we are in postseason, because that stuff wouldn't be on the regular schedule. You also can see, again, recognizing our student athletes is, and not just our student athletes, but also our students for their great accomplishments, as much as we can do on that occurs throughout the year. What I really like is watching the awesome, it's awesome to see the responses of people on our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter. And first of all, you can see who the ones are, the same ones are, but they're saying congratulations to our kids, and they're saying congratulations. And I know some of them by their names, they don't have kids at Auburndale anymore. But they're still invested and engaged in what's going on at our high school. So that's, and that they're taking their time to congratulate our students, and our kids see that. So it's, or their parents see it too. And that's just really special. And I think it helps when you want to seek those donations, or you want to seek that support for something. They know what's going on already at Auburndale High School. So those are just some things. I just, all the stakeholders involved as far as communication, you've got to keep everybody in the know. And for me, it's a work in progress, because I'm always trying to figure out ways that I can do it better, or how I can do it, putting stuff on the marquee. That's another one of my responsibilities. To me, that's a form of communication. I'm really big on that, because I think you'll have more engagement, better attendance at events, if the people know what's going on. And they also feel important when you feel that it's important to let them know and make them informed. But so I think it's important communication. As I said, you can always do better. That's my motto. You can always do better, because there was I read this saying, it said effective teamwork begins and ends with communication. So that's always been an important thing. And I think of it that way. We're all a team and we're all in this together. So I think that was High School Musical, but anyway, it just, but it's really important. That's why I wanted to share some things with you today.
No, and again, great job. You really, under that theme of communication, you really hit, those three ones that I think most of us think about, the coaches, your coaches meetings, the emails, the texts, et cetera, the kids, all the different ways that you communicate with your student athletes and the parents, of course, but you also incorporate the faculty, the teachers, making sure that they're part of the team, if you will, and then reaching out into the community. And you mentioned, it does pay dividends if you're asking for a donation or a sponsorship down the road, but that's not why we do it. We do it because it's
Absolutely
the
not.
right
Yeah.
thing to do. You mentioned the marquee. Yeah, I've been to your high school. I love that big marquee right out there on the main road. I was at a school years ago that we had one of those, and it was my job to put the
Yep.
information out there. I love doing it. I just thought it was so cool. Pam, again, always great, great stuff. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out, listeners, I'm telling you, you've got a great resource here. They want to reach out and pick your brain a little bit more. What's the best way they can get a hold of you?
A couple ways. My Twitter is at PamPJL1204. And then my email address is Pamela, Pamela .Lancaster, Lancaster at polk-fl.net. And if I can, if you have any questions or you want to run some things by me or you have some ideas for me, I'm more than welcome to hear. I'm always looking for new things.
Pam Lancaster from Auburndale High School. Thanks so much for sharing with us on All-Star AD, and all the best with the rest of the spring sports season.
Thank you, Jake.
For listeners, we do this every single week, and we upload the video to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening today. Come back next week for another segment of All-Star AD, and just about every day on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Once again, before we go, we want to give a shout out to our partners, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, We Coach, and the Florida Coaches Coalition, and to our sponsors. Don't fast forward. Take a listen to this quick message for each one of them. Athletic surveys by LifeTrack. At my school, we use surveys for everything, and you should too. The information that you're going to get back is going to be way off the charts positive, and that's an important tool to have when you're talking with that squeaky wheel parent or that disgruntled athlete. So check out Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack, athleticsurveys.com. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Social media is where it's at, and Gipper can help you do a great job with your content. It's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com, use the podcast code, and get 10% off. That's ADPOD10. Go to Gipper.com. We want to thank Hometown Ticketing. I didn't get a chance to use Hometown. It's the only sponsor we have that I did not use personally as a coach or an AD, but I've talked to hundreds of athletic directors across the country who swear by Hometown Ticketing. Go to hometownticketing.com and get started at your school. We want to say thanks to Huddle. I did use Huddle as a football coach, and I used it as an AD, and it's just fantastic. Your kids, your coaches, your community will love it. Go to huddle.com. Want to say thanks to Snap Mobile. Our coaches used the Snap Raise platform from Snap Mobile, and it was just fantastic. Our parents loved it. Bottom line, it works. They even have a program where you can get your funding before you actually start your fundraiser. So go to snapraise.com. Find out about all the different platforms that Snap Mobile offers. Snapraise.com. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive. You heard me say that I've got a Sideline Interactive score table in our gym. It's one of the best purchases I ever made. We use it for games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. Tremendously versatile, and their customer service is outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to find out more. We want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration. Go to finalforms.com/Jake. Final Forms is going to help your stakeholders, your coaches, and you as an AD. That's finalforms.com/Jake. And we want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school records and your school's Hall of Fame, look no further. VitalSignsWallOfFame.com. Talk to John and Gretchen and their team. They're going to take care of you. Vital Signs, walloffame.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on All-Star AD on the Educational AD Podcast.